I read some of the most popular John Grisham books, and here in this video we'll talk if they are worth the hype. But first, an ad. I sponsor my own videos using all the money I can find in my bank accounts. So if you want me to continue making those videos, please like, subscribe, comment, and better if you download the free book in exchange for an email, the link is below, or buy the course, Breathe and Flow, how to beat the stage fright and be a better poet, because I'm a poetpreneur obviously, and I know what I'm saying. One of the most popular books by John Grisham is called The Firm, and I got a printed copy here, a physical copy. It's quite old. It's one of the initial publishings and prints, and I got it by mail from Australia. It was printed in 1991, the year I was born actually, and the year Kazakhstan became a democratic republic, not a part of USSR. So I was born into democracy, and this book came out, The Firm. And if you don't want to read the book, but I recommend to read it because it's full of wisdom and knowledge, and lawyer-wise knowledge, wit and wisdom, which can be useful to any intellectual out there in the world. It's not like judicial, like you're gonna study law from this book, no. But you're gonna study a story that brings you and opens the door to this world, to the world of law and justice. Yeah, I believe it's very powerful. But if you don't want to read the book, you can watch the movie. It's called The Firm, and Tom Cruise is starring in it, the main role. What was his name? McDeary. Okay, let's switch to the screen. I'll show you the rest of the John Grisham books, and I'll tell you which ones are worthy and which ones you can skip. Okay, here's the Amazon page of John Grisham with all of his books. And by the way, I checked the name of the guy, the character, and the firm. His name is Mitchell Y. McDeary. I remember the surname, but not the first and middle name. So don't blame me, because I'm pretty good with names, but last names especially. And even if they're Scottish, that's even more, because I'm Smith, obviously. Anyhow, let's go to John Grisham page. I read The Exchange. Exchange claims to be the continuation, like 20 years past, 25 years, 33 years past, actually. I'm 33 years old, and the film was published in 1991, and The Exchange was published recently. I bought and read the book. It's pretty good, but it's not much of a continuation of the story. It's like a different story entirely that touches like memos from the first book. But The Whistler is a good book. John Grisham, The Judge List. Well, John Grisham writes good books in general, but like I didn't read them all. Camino Island is a great book about Scott Fitzgerald's manuscript and how it got stolen. That's if you want to get into manuscripts and ancient books and how to buy them and invest in them. That's like a cool prelude and introduction to the business, even though it's like a thriller. Camino Winds I haven't read. Painted House is a really boring book. It's but you will like it if you come from south of America, like cotton collection fields, old style houses, old style living, Christian melodrama and all that. Camino Ghosts I haven't read. The Broker, I should read The Broker, that sounds interesting. The Firm I read. And John Grisham, Time for Mercy I'm reading right now. It's a great book about a crime of a 16 years old who killed the cop with his own gun and is sent to trial. And the story tells how a lawyer who doesn't like too much of negative press and attention is apparently choosing to defend the boy from this crime, or better serve as his lawyer during the judgment. That's what I meant. Anyway, John Grisham has something like 43 or around 40 to 50 books. I'm not sure, somewhere between the 40, 50, maybe even 50 something books. You can't cover them all, definitely, unless you're an avid reader. The Appeal, I read the book The Appeal. The Appeal is a great book. Associate is a great book. Rogue Lawyer, I remember, it's like a tough book. Like, you know, if you take John Constantine character and make him a lawyer, that's going to be a Rogue Lawyer book. As you can see, he has a lot of audiobooks, so you don't have to actually read everything. Sully is one of his sports books, like Playing for Pizza. Playing for Pizza is a great book also about a football player who goes to Italy to play football there, American football. And Sully is basically a basketball book. I haven't read it, but I read the synopsis of it. I think it should be a great book, like if you like basketball. The Chamber is a very thrilling book. Runaway Jury, The Street Lawyer, Playing for Pizza. This is the Playing for Pizza one. Italy-inspired book. Really great book. So basically, if you ask me, are his books worth the hype? If you can get them in a good condition, in print, and at a good price, they're worth the hype. I would even start a collection, like if you like I did myself. I started collecting John Grisham books here in Israel as a big fan, and I really like him. I like to read them. And maybe I read like something 6 to 10 books of his, and because he has so many books, and you can't read them all unless you're dedicating your life to it or have a dedicated time to read John Grisham books. And not all of them are really that well going because, for example, Painted House is a really boring book for me because I'm used to action that he conveys in his books, like The King of Thwarts. There's a lot of action going on, not shooting and crime, but like there is a lot of action going on about a guy who gets signals for his investments, and then one of the signals doesn't work and he loses all of his money. It's just an amazing story because somebody who likes to trade or interested in trading, I find those stories very interesting. That's how I first learned about shorting. Like you know, I learned it from John Grisham books that you can actually short, not go all the time long, but you can short a stock or a crypto or a bond or a futures. You can short it. And apparently, John Grisham likes to mention it a lot in his books that are about lawyers and brokers and stuff like that. John Grisham was and still a lawyer himself, and hence he has a lot of information and inside information that allows him to take over this industry and niche and tell the story as it should be told. This is a really, really good thriller writer. Some call him the best thriller writer alive, and I wouldn't say it's far from the truth. It's pretty close to it. And David Baldacci is another writer who writes thrillers, but he does a lot of research, and it's at times annoying to read his books. But we're talking about John Grisham here, and John Grisham is a stellar writer. So yes, his books are worth the hype, definitely worth the hype. Besides John Grisham, I read other books, but like John Grisham is my main reading go-to because I know the author, I know his work, and I really like how he tells the story. And it's a page flipper basically. Most of his books are page flippers. You gotta read the synopsis and get into the plot. If you like the plot, it's definitely gonna be a page turner, and you're gonna read his book like drinking a glass of water. Like it's gonna be smooth and pleasant and nice. I'm an author myself. I've published 43 books myself, most of them poetry. Here is one of the books I published. It's called Medal of the Mind. You can find it on Lulu. It was written in the beginning of my poetry journey in 2017, published in 2017. And it's a very interesting compilation. I'm going back to this book every time I travel. It's like a meditation to read those poems. They're pretty nice and joyful, full of life and insight. There's my picture here. You can find it when I was younger, a little bit younger. I'm not that old anyway. And I really like it. They even the book cover shows the wings, and it's called Metal of the Mind: Poetry of an Outsider. Because like while living in Israel and growing up here, I felt pretty much outside of this bubble that Jews built for themselves. Because I was not that much into those traditions, crazy religious stuff. I had my own kind of corner of and a way of life, and I pretty much enjoyed it so far. Pretty much. Well, there were some bumps, but like everyone has bumps along the road, don't they? Anyway, I want to read you one of the poems from this book. I'll just select a random one. It's page 102, number 124. To sit under the stairs and stare at ample parts of spheres, enormously pathetic, to watch time run and sand disappear under the tough sun. Well, tough sun is pretty much all around here in Israel, because the sun is very hot, and Middle East is known as a hot region of Earth, of the hemisphere, and like it's very tense and hot, and people drink a lot of coffee, and they're crazy, most of them. But somehow you learn how to survive through all that madness and craziness and hotness. Well, they install conditioners, fans, and try to make cool places to go to, have a drink, chat, enjoy themselves, sometimes fight, and there's a lot of fighting going on. Yeah. And basically write poetry, of course. I can sit in this tiny room in front of my computer and mind nothing else but writing my own lyrics to my own desperate soul. Well, let's don't get there. Well, anyway, desperate soul, yeah. It could be the beginning of a poem. Desperate soul, the beginning of a poem of an outsider who lives alone and remarks his life as a carving on a stone, or something along the lines. Anyway, thank you for watching, and what else? There's something else I want to tell you. Just let's move to the other slide. Ah, yes, I remember now. Basically, there's a video here in the end screen of this YouTube that you should watch. It's the explanation of the course on Breathe and Flow. The course of Breathe and Flow was built to teach you, poets and stage performers, how to stop stage fright and basically the craze, the shock, the adrenaline rush. Through breathing, how to control all of that and still perform at your top, like, at 100%, while you're on stage reading your poems or performing an act as an actor, or just reading news as a pundit. Depends what you do. And the stage fright techniques are pretty massive. I've done much research into them, and I put them into this course, and it costs only $150. It's less than a good I don't know, electric kettle that you can buy. It's that cheap, but that useful. Anyway, and thank you for watching, basically, and this is all I had to say for today. Cheers.